90-Day Fiancé. Star Armando Rubio reunites with hospitalized daughter after emotional cross-border struggle. Sometimes, real life tells a story far more emotional than any movie ever could. Imagine being told that your child is fighting for her life in an intensive care unit, yet you are unable to be by her side. That nightmare became reality for 90-Day Fiancé star Armando Rubio. His 13-year-old daughter, Hannah, was rushed to a hospital after suffering a life-threatening medical emergency. While his husband stayed beside her hospital bed, Armando was trapped across the border, desperately trying to find a way to reach his little girl. What followed was an emotional journey filled with fear, heartbreak, hope, and finally, one unforgettable reunion. Here's the incredible story. Everything seemed normal until 13-year-old Hannah suddenly became seriously ill. According to her family, she began experiencing symptoms similar to those of a stroke. At first, they hoped it might be something temporary, but after doctors examined her, they delivered devastating news. Hannah had bleeding in her brain. The condition was so serious that doctors immediately arranged for her to be transferred from Mexico to Phoenix, Arizona, where she could receive specialized treatment. She was admitted directly into the intensive care unit. For the family, every minute became a battle against time. While Hannah fought for her life in the hospital, her father couldn't even be there. Armando Rubio lives in Mexico with his family, while his husband, Kenny Niedermeyer, accompanied Hannah to Arizona for emergency treatment. Armando desperately wanted to join them, but there was one major obstacle. He couldn't legally enter the United States. Imagine knowing your daughter is lying unconscious in an ICU, knowing she needs you, yet being unable to hold her hand. That heartbreaking reality shattered Armando. Armando immediately began trying to obtain permission to enter the United States. He applied for what he believed would be a humanitarian visa. However, according to Armando, officials informed him that humanitarian visas had essentially not been available for nearly 2 years. Despite his daughter's critical condition, his request wasn't approved. The hospital even provided official medical documentation explaining the seriousness of Hannah's condition. Doctors confirmed that she was critically ill. Armed with every required document, Armando traveled to the border, hoping authorities would understand. Instead, he says he was turned away before anyone even reviewed his paperwork. For any parent, it was an unimaginable moment. Unable to do anything else, Armando shared his heartbreaking situation on social media. His emotional videos quickly spread across the internet. Fans from around the world watched him plead for one simple thing: the chance to be with his daughter. Thousands of supporters flooded social media with messages of hope and encouragement. Many called on US authorities to allow the desperate father into the country. People from every background agreed on one thing: no parent should be separated from their child during a medical emergency. As public support continued to grow, the story reached American lawmakers. US Representative Adelita Grijalva stepped in to help. Her office worked directly with US Customs and Border Protection to facilitate Armando's travel. US Senator Mark Kelly also provided letters supporting Armando's emergency request. After days of uncertainty, everything finally changed. Armando received authorization to enter the United States. He later referred to it as an emergency humanitarian visa, although officials never publicly explained the exact legal process used. For Armando, none of that mattered. The only thing that mattered was getting to his daughter. On July 18th, Armando shared an emotional video on Instagram. The video begins outside the Arizona hospital. After days of separation, Armando embraces his husband, Kenny. The emotion is overwhelming, but the most touching moment comes inside the hospital room. Hannah is lying quietly in her hospital bed. As Armando walks through the door, she looks at him. For a brief moment, she appears completely shocked, almost as if she can't believe her father is really standing there. Then, her expression changes. A smile slowly spreads across her face. Without hesitation, she reaches out and hugs her father. The emotional reunion brought countless viewers to tears. Millions watched the touching video, with many calling it one of the most powerful family reunions they had ever seen. Only 2 days later, the family shared another incredible update. Kenny revealed that Hannah's condition had improved dramatically. He said, Ever since Armando got here, she has gotten better and better. He added that the doctors were thrilled with Hannah's progress, whether it was medical treatment or simply the emotional comfort of having both of her parents nearby. The improvement gave everyone new hope. Soon after, the family released a 3-part video series announcing the news everyone had been waiting for. Hannah was going home, after spending time in intensive care, after fighting through an incredibly dangerous medical emergency. She had finally been discharged from the hospital. Kenny described it as the best news. The family couldn't have been happier.